my fellow creatives. Welcome, welcome. I am Imani the writer, and this is the Healing Creative Podcast, where I, a Black girl creative, take you along my healing journey. Feel free to join me. So, I am in bed in the middle of the night podcasting. I couldn't sleep at all. And I figured, why not get this podcast episode up and running? Let's record. Let's do that thing. My setup doesn't have to be perfect. It's literally just your laptop and your mic. Like, you can do that from bed. And I figured, because it's Saturday, things might get a little, not rowdy. I was going to say rowdy, but just a little loud once everyone starts waking up, which is fine because everybody's up and about enjoying their Saturday. So while everyone's asleep, I will record this episode and enjoy the rest of the Saturday editing it. Yeah, forgive me if this is a bit of an ASMR episode, since I will be a little bit more quieter than usual. I don't want to wake anybody up, but I'm excited for today's topic. It's something that I wrote down a couple of days ago that I really wanted to cover, and it's the idea of feeling behind in life. I know that's been a very popular topic on social media lately, which I completely understand, but I wanted to tackle the topic and share with you guys what's been kind of working for me in coping with that feeling, because it's a feeling that a lot of us can relate to so deeply. But these are the sorts of things that have helped me feel better about where I am in life and helped me not feel like I'm behind in life. And even if I do have those moments where I do feel behind in life, these sorts of things kind of help me just embrace that feeling and be like, okay, whatever. We're still cute. We're still living. And there's so much abundance here for me to tap into, and we'll be all right. So I have felt behind in life in so many areas of my life. Dating is such a big part of that. I've only had one relationship, and I know there are lots of people who have none, so hearing me bitch and complain about my one relationship is like, I'm sorry. But it's so common that by the time you reach 26, you've had multiple relationships, multiple situationships. But my love life has been an area of my life that I feel really, I hate the word should, but that's accurate for how I'm feeling. I feel like a lot more should be happening. And I'm not going to get into a lot of the reasons why that hasn't been the case, but that's kind of outside of my control, to be honest. Well, maybe I will share, and whoever will resonate. But I live outside of the city and I don't drive. There is public transportation, but it is ass. I do commute into the city twice a week for work. But it's just hard to date, especially like if I were to use the dating apps, most of the guys would be in the city. If I narrow it down just to my location, it's a little bit better, but there just aren't that many guys in my location like that in the first place. And then dating apps just kind of suck anyway, like unless you're okay with something casual, which I'm not a casual bitch, you know. I tried to convince myself that I am, but every time that I came so close to being like, okay, let's have a casual experience with this person, he's like 2 seconds from getting some, but for whatever reason, God forced him to expose the fact that he is a creep in some way, shape, or form or fashion, or just a loser. And it's just like, I don't want you touching me. You're a loser. And that's not even truly what I want anyway. I want something real. I want something where there is an emotional connection and an intellectual connection. I wanted something real, and I want it with a person that's worthy of me. You know what I mean? I don't want to waste my time. So, but the hardest part about dating right now is it's also just a lot of work. Let's say I do meet somebody on a dating app and we schedule a hangout. It is so annoying that when I go on Google Maps to see where the place they picked is, it could be like a 5-minute drive away from me, but like a 40-minute commute on the bus. I don't know how that fucking happens, bro. It's so annoying. And it's just like, I don't want to put in that much effort for coffee dates. They always want to do coffee dates, or a lot of times just go straight to, hey, can you come over to my house for like the first date, for the first meeting? I'm just like, I just feel like that's rude. Like, as a man, you should know how unsafe it is for me as a woman to make going to a guy's house on the first date a habit of mine. Like, you should be aware that that is not a safe habit. Even if you know you're not going to do anything, you should know that I'm not going to just feel comfortable with that for you to ask me. I feel like that's incredibly rude, for one. And for two, you just don't want to have to put in effort. You just want me to show up and do whatever you're going to do and for me to leave. And I'm just like, no, screw it. Screw that. And then when I say, oh, I'm not comfortable with that, I don't know you, the next thing that they recommend is coffee or tea. And I'm just like, bro, you just don't want to spend any money. You just don't want to spend any money. And I would at least feel better about the situation if you suggested coffee or tea first, because I don't mind a coffee date at all. But you started with your house and then you go to the next possible cheapest option. And it's just like, you're just looking to get as much as you can get while putting in the least amount of money and the least amount of effort. And that's not attractive. That's not an attractive first impression. It's just not. Now I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in that at all. And I know I deserve better than that. But anyway, that's my little rant about dating apps. I let myself ramble for a hot ass minute. I'm sorry. This is not the topic of the podcast. But let's just wrap this up by saying my biggest hangups about dating is that it's extremely inconvenient and irritating. Some of that is because of the men, but another part, I think the biggest part of that is just where I live and how difficult it is for me to get around. I think if I move to a place that is like easier for me to get around and meet people, then I can build a stronger social life because I can go out every day if I wanted to and meet people and be social and explore activities. Because now, I mean, I can go out, but it takes so much time and energy. The commute is 2 hours. It takes so much time and energy to do so that I'm only willing to do it for the days that I actually go to work. And then after work, I'm not really I want to see my friends. I want to see the friends that I hadn't seen in a really long time. I want to hang out with my friends. I'm not really in the mood to go and be social with new people. I want to hang out with my friends or do the work outings that we do at work. You know, I want to talk to the people, especially since I know I'm going to be moving. I want to talk to the people who are here that I love and take advantage of the fact that we are in the same city at the same time. Even though I have to commute 2 hours back, we are here in the same place at the same time. Now let's take advantage of that before I have to move. You know what I mean? So at this point, I just kind of took a break from dating because I'm just like, there's very little point in trying to date in such an irritating and inconvenient situation. And me trying to do so is just going to frustrate me because I have to put in 10 times more effort. And if I don't get something that feels like it's at least some form of progress, that's going to make me feel some type of way because there are people who could just walk outside. And I used to judge myself and be like, oh, why are they better than me that they can just walk outside and meet somebody? But it's because of where they're at that they can just walk outside and meet somebody. I can't go outside and meet nobody here. That's not where I live. I have to put myself in a situation where I can go outside and meet somebody, meet anybody, meet everybody every day if I wanted to. Like, I could just go out and be social. Like, I actually have to be in a place where that's possible. I need to get myself back to a city environment where public transportation is very accessible And the city at large is very accessible because of it. And people are accessible because of it. And because I'm not there, that has had a huge impact on my dating life compared to a lot of my peers. And sometimes I fool myself into thinking that that means there's something wrong with me. No, that you're just in the wrong place, babes. You're in the wrong place. And I have to remember that, like, you are in the wrong place and you're working on getting yourself to the right place. It's fine. But anyway, I felt behind in dating. I felt behind in my career up until recently. I mean, sometimes I still do because the role that I have is entry level, but I'm at a good company. I am in a good role. I'm in a good team. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy that I'm learning a lot of wonderful things and I have a job, you know what I'm saying? I have something that I can say to people when they're like, oh, what do you do? I'm a data analyst. And there's just like, you know what I mean? Like I can tune out the whole, because I know a lot of my peers are like senior analyst roles or manager roles because they just stuck it out. Like as soon as they graduated, they got a job and they just kept going up and up and up and up and up. And that's not really my story. But there's a lot of beauty in the story that I actually do have. And I'm proud of the path that I did take, even though it wasn't linear. And I have a job, and it's a good job, good benefits, and I'm in a good place. So I don't feel as bad about my career as I did before, but I definitely, when I was in the thick of the job hunt, bro, I felt so behind in life. I felt so pathetic to be in that position at 25, because I turned 26 having my job, but I was at 25 and I just didn't know what the next move was going to be. But God made a plan happen, made something unfold for me, and that was wonderful. I felt really behind and still feel really behind in my content creation because I've been doing it in some form or fashion for many years now, and I only have like 500 subscribers on YouTube. I have a lot more followers on TikTok, but that's not an engaged audience, and that number has not grown at all. And the biggest reason for that is my lack of ability to be consistent with a posting schedule. Podcasting has really helped with that. So hopefully we can see things change since my content creation process is a lot faster. 1, because I'm not filming. 2, because podcasting is just a lot easier for me. And 3, because I have more income coming in. I can afford some AI programs that make editing a lot faster for me as well. So that's really great. So hopefully I can see some growth in my content creation, even though that I am pivoting and kind of starting over in a way, like giving myself, like actually showing up every week or at least every other week, but showing up consistently in a way that's reasonable for me given my job and given where I'm at in life. Hopefully things will change and start to build, but it sucks when you've been doing something for so long and it's kind of just like you put so much planning and so much effort into it and it's not bearing fruit. But I think that the production, I was trying to put on a whole production and trying to look all business-like and appear a certain kind of way. But 2025 has really just been like, girl, fuck it. Just be yourself. Just do what you want and do it in the way that is easiest for you, you know? But yeah, I felt behind in dating, career-wise, in my content creation journey, and in other certain social situations like drinking, partying, traveling. These are not things that I do very often. I am starting to do them more often now that I have this job and I'm going into the city more and seeing my friends more. But I feel like a teenager going into a bar not knowing what she's doing at 26 oftentimes, because I'm just like, I know nothing about these situations. And it makes me feel like a child, and I don't like feeling like a child, and it just, ugh, you know what I mean? So if you have felt behind in life in any of these areas, if you're feeling behind in life in other areas of your life right now, I know exactly what you're feeling. And it sucks. It sucks seeing your peers or people who are younger than you kind of having experiences that you never had before, are breezing and just going up and up and up and up and up in their lives in a way that seems like such a linear fashion, and that you tried for yourself, but it just didn't work out that way for you. I know what that's like, and I completely get it. You're not alone. You're far from alone. So Take this opportunity to not be so hard on yourself. Take this opportunity to just not even pressure yourself to get rid of that negative feeling that you have right away. You don't have to do anything right now, but just be and breathe. You don't have to feel better about this situation right now. And you don't have to change the situation right now so that you can feel like that you're on track, so that you get rid of the feeling of not being behind in life. Like, you don't have to pressure yourself to go to change your situation immediately. You can, in this moment, just be and be heard and be seen and validated, because I see you and I hear you and I feel you and I validate you and I am here to support you. So what's been most helpful for me on this particular path and journey? To no longer feel bad about feeling behind in life. And I'm not gonna lie to you, those feelings still pop up and creep up every now and then. But these are the things that have been most helpful for me. For one, I do want to shout out a few content creators who touched on the topic in a way that I really liked and in a way that I found very helpful. Of course, I got to mention Alecia Renece. She has a whole song called Late Bloomer for people who feel behind in life. I will link it in the description box. Check it out. I find it so healing. I find her voice so healing. The lyrics are so wonderful. She also talks about how we are not behind. We are on our own path in life. And that's a common phrase, but I like the way she says it. You know what I'm saying? Like, these rules for how we live our lives, these rules about when we're supposed to reach certain milestones, were created by the systems that oppress us. Systems like the patriarchy, systems like white supremacy. These systems were not made really to help us. They were made to keep us in bondage, and we don't have to live according to them. There is joy that comes with being off the beaten path and embracing the journey as it comes, as it flows in ways that are unpredictable, letting that come and letting life surprise you, you know? So definitely check out her channel. I'll link probably some videos from her and other content creators that I mentioned. Another one I want to talk about is Matthew Hesse. He's a dating coach, which I have feelings about because I honestly don't like dating coaches, but I do like him as a dating coach. I do like his approach to dating coaching because it feels like he is very empathetic to women. A lot of dating coaches just are random people who hate women, especially Black women, and they just want to sit up on a pedestal and tell women how to live their lives, especially Black women. But I feel as though he puts himself in situations where he listens actively to women a lot, listens to their concerns, listens to their struggles, is this empathetic and supportive presence. And the tips that he offers, kind of like, he frames it in a way, I can tell that he reads a lot of self-help books around communication, a lot of the same ones that I read, because he frames his messaging in a way that feels very empathetic, and it doesn't feel unreasonable. It doesn't feel like you're being told to make all these lifestyle changes and change yourself as a human being. It's like, this is where you're at, accept where you're at, and let's make small changes that can change your life and could result in a partner. But even if it doesn't, it will result in a better social life for you that you will love and enjoy. It will increase your social circle with people who are more like-minded, people you have more in common with, shared interests with, and you'll be able to have more friends and build more community. And that in and of itself is a blessing. And romantic partnership can come from that. But honestly, that's kind of what I'm hoping I get to kind of really tap into when I relocate. I want to be in a place where I can easily get around. And once I'm there, the first thing I'm going to do is start taking some of the advice that he has that I'm really not able to act on right now. Just going, maybe not every weekend, because I have to take baby steps. Remember, I'm still an introvert and I'm a homebody. And this would essentially be the first time that I'm moving out on my own and ideally living with nobody. Like, this is the first home that I will properly be creating for myself. And home cultivation is something that has been deep in my spirit for a while now. I want to create my own home. I want to optimize it just for me. I want to have all the furniture. I want to arrange it in a way that feels great. I want to decorate and arrange and organize my home that will be optimized for my creativity, for my relaxation. And I want to be intentional about who I let into that space and how they are supposed to act when they are there, including myself. I want to make a list of rules, of house rules that are going to be integral to my peace, because my home needs to be a peaceful, loving, creative space of comfort for me and everyone else who comes in. That's what I want it to be, always. I want to be intentional about cultivating that space for myself and others. But a space like that requires boundaries to be drawn, So I'm excited to explore what that looks like for me. But yeah, I don't want to pressure myself to be too social. I mean, I want to be social once I relocate to my new city. And I'll definitely take those opportunities to do the things that I have always wanted to do creatively, to seek out opportunities to do that with others, to take classes and to have fun, meeting new people who also share these interests and these hobbies and these creative dreams, and laughing and talking about it with them and sharing notes and supporting each other. I'm super excited to do that. But I'm also not going to put too much pressure on myself to be out every single weekend, because home cultivation is so important to me. And I'm super excited about that too. So I want to be in my space and enjoy my new space and cultivate my new space exactly how I want it as well. But back to, I'm sorry, I meander. This is a very meandering podcast episode, which is fine. You could tell that I have a lot on my mind. But yeah, I do want to share some of the things that Matthew Hussey talks about in his content. And there's one particular video that I have in mind that he made recently about feeling behind in life. That was really, really helpful for me. One, you need to define what real progress looks like for yourself. It's easy to look at someone who's like breezing right past you in so many ways and be like, oh, you need to be like them. You need to be where they are. Well, you may have a different path from them. They may not have had your struggles and the things that you went through. So they're starting from a completely different starting point. You have to define what real progress looks like in this area of your life for yourself. So if I were to kind of take that approach to my love life in the way that he kind of outlined in his video, it would be that my starting place would just be from a place where I'm just like, I have, ever since COVID, really have been spending 90% of my time alone in my own company. And that was where I was in life. That was in alignment with what I needed, because I needed to do a lot of healing, a lot of unpacking of a lot of trauma, and working through a lot of emotional things that had been going on in the background my entire life. And that was the perfect space to do that. But because I had been alone for so long, even though I wouldn't necessarily say I have a problem with being social, when I go to the city, I'm friendly around the office, and it's not hard for me to necessarily talk to people. But I do have little hints of social anxiety every now and then, worrying about what people think and how I come across. And I also am just not used to doing it every day. Like, I don't want to pressure myself to be outside every single day and talking to anybody and everybody every single day in the hopes of cultivating that community that I deeply want to cultivate for myself. That might be too much of a goal for me. It can be as simple as, okay, you're used to doing this when you go to the office, right? 2 days a week. Now, let's just add an extra day every week when you're going out and doing something, whether it's just going to the grocery store, or going to the library, or going to bookstores or cafes, exploring your city, because these are the first things I want to find out. Like, where are the nearest libraries and bookstores and cafes near me? Because those are the places I feel most comfortable. Finding, like, just 1 day a week to find some new hangout spots for yourself, and just have small conversations along the way with people that you meet there. Give yourself small, very attainable goals. Just go outside for an extra day a week. Let's start there and then go from there. And yeah, you have to define what progress looks like for yourself. I have to ease into being more social more often. I have to ease into it gently. I can't go and move to this new city and just be everywhere all at once. I'm going to burn myself out. I got to take time. You know what I mean? Progress for you might be that maybe because of your past, trusting people is difficult. So instead of making the goal, oh, I need to find a partner that I can trust right now, the goal needs to be, where can I find small little ways to trust the friends in my life that I know that I can count on them for this, but I never actually let myself count on them for this. Like, what are small little ways that I can let myself trust my friends? And that may not have anything to do actively with finding a partner, intentionally looking for a partner, but it is relevant to your love life. It is something that you can do to kind of be in preparation for when that partner does come. You're in a better place to be able to trust them with your heart, you know? So you have to define what real progress looks like for yourself. Another thing he says is to not discredit the things you've learned and the ways you've grown on your own path. So like I said, I have in some way, shape, or form been learning about content creation and marketing for several years, even though I wouldn't necessarily say that I have been especially successful in my approach. I learned so many incredible skills. I've learned about so many different platforms. I've learned about so many different marketing principles that I was able to land a marketing job. You know what I mean? I learned so much and I cultivated my resume really, really well and was able to really have a personal story and a personal brand that stood out for me in the interview process. And I was able to get a whole marketing job. I'm a data analyst in a marketing agency. And now I'm learning even more great technical skills to help me. I don't have a lot of experience with drinking and partying and traveling, but I have a lot of experience with reflection and journaling and cultivating my inner peace. And so now that I am ready to start putting myself out there, I'm going to put myself out there in ways that add to my peace and to my joy. I'm not going to go about partying in a way that's going to be destructive to me. I'm not going to go overboard. Probably. I'm only going to do it in ways that genuinely add to my life. I'm not just doing it to do it. I'm going to do it because it's giving me something that I actually want. It's giving me an experience I actually want to have and deserve to have. So yeah, whatever that you feel behind in life about, it's always because you spent that time doing and learning something else. And you got to give credit where credit is due for those things. Those things still matter. They shaped who you are and who you are becoming. And those are valuable skills in one way or another. So don't discredit that. Give credit to the things that you've learned on this path that you've had that has been tailor-made for you. That's important. There's this other content creator, Christina Aaliyah. I like her content a lot. This particular video was all right, but the most powerful part of the video that I'm talking about when it comes to feeling behind in life, and I'll put them in the description box. Hello. Sorry, I'm getting a little tired. I'm gonna go to bed after this. This is probably the exact thing I needed to do to feel tired because I woke up and I was like, I can't go back to sleep. It's probably because this is the time I get up to get ready to go to work. But it's Saturday and I want to sleep. So this is probably the exact thing I needed to do so that I can go to sleep. But yeah, the lesson that I learned from her, which completely snapped me out of this whole feeling behind shenanigans, is this. The idea that she had in her video is that if you feel behind in life and then you attain the thing that you think you want or need to not feel behind in life anymore, by then your mind is already stuck in feeling behind mode. Like your mind will just start looking for more reasons to feel behind in life. It won't even matter if you obtain those things. You've already made it a habit to look for reasons why you are behind in life anyway. And that was just like, wow, that's actually really true. Because I felt behind in life because I was struggling to get a job. And now that I have the job, I started feeling behind in life because there were people who were my age and they were much higher in the hierarchy. Like they got promotions and everything, and I'm still just an analyst. And it's just like, but bitch, you got the job. The whole time you thought if I could just get a job, then I would stop feeling behind in life. And now you got the job and you just, now it's just like a whole nother thing. So instead of focusing on getting the thing that you think you need in order to not feel behind in life anymore, just focus on getting rid of that habit of your mind looking for reasons. Do that reframing. Do away with the whole fucking thing. Or maybe just embrace that you are behind in life anyway and just be like, okay, whatever, fuck it. But whatever, you just find a way to do away with that habit. Because at this point, it is a habit. It is a habit that you're looking for ways to feel behind in life. Even if you're not even doing it consciously, on a subconscious level, your mind is just going to keep looking for more reasons to feel that way. So focus more instead on just being like, okay, fuck it. Either be like, I'm not behind in life. This is my life. I'm on my own path. Or be like, yeah, maybe in this area of my life, I do feel behind. What of it? It's still my life. This is my path. And there were good things that happened on this path. So I'm going to stay the course and I'm going to be fine. You know what I mean? But the point is, however way you need to frame it or however way you need to phrase it, do away with the whole thing. Do away with ruminating about the whole thing. It's important to just focus more so on the habit of thinking that you're behind instead of necessarily getting that thing. Because let's say I feel behind because I'm single and I deeply, deeply want a partner and I would like to get married and I'd like to have a family. I'm not necessarily rushing to do all those things all at once because I know I'm a late bloomer and I'm just now getting to have the opportunity to even go out and have fun because I never got to do that growing up. I kind of felt like I had a bit more of a strict childhood and my parents were a little, I love them. They're great parents, but maybe a bit helicoptery. That doesn't mean that I don't love them and that they aren't wonderful and that I'm not grateful. In a lot of ways, I had such a wonderful childhood. I loved that, the way my parents supported my creativity because it was my creativity, my creative hobbies. These were the mediums that I had for fun because I couldn't necessarily go out and everything. And maybe in a way that was a good thing because sometimes when you're going out too early in life and you're going out and you're making mistakes, sometimes you can find yourself in some dangerous situations. So it's good that I had fun in the ways that were safe for me. And I'm now going out and having fun as an adult and as like a fully grown adult at this point. Like my frontal lobe is fully developed and I have cultivated a lot of good judgment and reflection. So now I'm in a place where if I were to do these things, I am much more equipped to prioritize my safety and my comfort and my peace. So I feel like, yeah, on one hand, I never got to do these things and that's kind of a bummer. But on the other hand, I'm getting to do them at a time in my life where I am most prepared to protect myself and to protect my peace. And so, and that is a blessing to have never had a lot of trauma that a lot of people had for going out and drinking and partying when they were too young and not as informed enough about the things that you can and need to do to keep yourself safe. And that's not blaming them for anything that could have happened while they were out doing those things that put them in a dangerous situation. That's not blaming them or for being victimized in any way if that's what happened. But I'm just saying that I'm more equipped to protect myself. That doesn't necessarily mean that things may not occur. Sometimes you do everything right and you're still victimized because victimizers evolve, right? They know about the things that people do to keep themselves safe, and they just keep finding more creative ways to victimize others, you know what I mean? But yeah, and that also lends itself to the whole Matthew Hussey thing. Like, again, don't discredit the things you've learned on the path. that you were on, right? But yeah, you have to just tackle that habit of seeing yourself as behind. It's important that you do, because if you don't, then there's nothing that's going to make you feel better. You can get the partner, you can get the job, you can have the content creator career, you can get the millions of followers and the millions of subscribers, you can get the accolades, and always feel that you are behind somebody, and that's going to weigh on your life. You got to get rid of the habit of looking at life that way and get into habits that allow you to see the abundance of what you already have and what you've always had. And that's important. You know what I mean? It has an impact on your mood. It has an impact on your days. But yeah, those are the content creators that were most helpful for me. Another thing that was really helpful for me in this whole process of no longer being weighed down by feeling behind in life is the concept of empathy letters. So I created the concept of empathy letters, and it is like this. We can write love letters to ourselves, but an empathy letter is essentially where you focus more on showing yourself empathy than love per se, which are two sides of the same coin. But like the whole point of an empathy letter is you write down what empathy feels like to you and kind of make it like a formula. Write down, like, ask yourself right now, take out a pen and paper and ask yourself, what does empathy feel like for me? Like, and map out the steps in a way. Like when someone is showing me empathy, to me, that feels like first they do this, and then they do this, and then they do this, and then they do this. Write it out, kind of like a formula. That's what I did. And then when you feel any sort of negative feelings about anything, and you have the opportunity and the space and the time to write yourself a letter showing yourself empathy by following those steps and that formula that you created for what empathy feels like to you. That's been life-changing for me. I've been doing that for the past couple of years now. And I love it because I also just love that it cultivated a relationship with myself that I think is really healthy. Like, I have my friends and I have my community, and I'm looking to build that community further for sure. But I love that I've cultivated a relationship with myself where I will always be the first one to show myself empathy. I will always be the first one to show myself compassion. I will always be the first one to validate my feelings and experiences. That is what the habit and the routine of creating empathy letters has done for me. I like to record mine on my phone and listen to those recordings so that I can have them wherever I go. So whenever that same negative feeling bubbles up again, I have a recording that I can listen to where I'm showing myself the empathy, the exact kind of empathy that I need from others. And the great thing about empathy letters too is that because you make the practice of writing and showing yourself empathy in a formulaic way for the most part, because you're sitting there and writing the letter, following the formula that you initially outlined for what empathy feels like to you, you are better equipped to tell your community what it is that you need in terms of empathy from them. One thing that I kind of say to myself, if you can't open your mouth and speak about what it is that you need from others, you will never get your needs met. That's just the truth, right? Sometimes we find ourselves getting upset because we go to somebody expecting them to show us empathy, and they're showing us something that is not that. And maybe it's true that they love us and they're showing us and giving us something that they think is going to be helpful in some way, shape, or form, even though that it's not. They're trying to help us in some form or fashion, but it's not what you need. You literally made a formula for yourself that you use to outline and give yourself what you need. And because of that, you're a lot more able to confidently let your loved ones know what it is that you truly need from them in that moment. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. I need you to say this. This is what I need from you. And because you vocalize that, they're more equipped to help you in the exact way that you need them to. Are they going to? That's up to them. There's no guarantee. But at the very least, they know. You know what I mean? That's the whole idea behind creating empathy letters. So I'll share with you what my empathy letter formula is for me. Empathy to me is the first thing is to acknowledge your feelings. That's the first step of the formula. Acknowledge. Taking a minute to just acknowledge what you're feeling. What this looks like in the empathy letter format is kind of just like, hey, Imani, I know you've been feeling XYZ. I know you've been feeling down because of the day you had at work. I know you're feeling down because you feel insecure about this. I know you're feeling down because this happened, whatever. Just take a minute to say, you're feeling this way because of this situation. Spend as much or as little time as you want, just kind of with that part of the introduction of your letter. You're feeling this way, and just express whatever you want about what those feelings are and the impact that they're having on you, right? So that's the first part of the empathy letter formula. Second part is validate. Take a minute to validate your feelings. So first you acknowledged how you feel. Next is to validate your feelings. I say things like, what you're feeling is completely understandable. What you're feeling is completely valid. I completely understand it. I understand it more than anybody else because I have lived through that right alongside you. I write that down in my letters. I talk to myself as if I am my own friend, as if I'm standing right next to myself and seeing these things happen in real time, and am showing myself empathy because I have been there before. Yeah, take however long you need to just validate what you're feeling. Let yourself know that you're not crazy. Let yourself know that your feelings are completely valid. They're completely understandable, and that you know what that feeling is like, right? The third part is to relieve some sort of pressure. Usually for me, when I'm having some sort of really negative feeling or experience, there is the negative emotions around it, but I also feel a pressure to do something about it right now, to get rid of that uncomfortable feeling right now, or to fix my situation right now and to control something right now. You know what I mean? So for me, empathy looks like also just someone just relieving that burden off of my shoulders by just letting me know, hey, you don't have to do that. You don't have to figure this out right now. You don't have to feel differently right now. You don't have to force yourself to feel better. You don't have to force yourself to heal faster. You don't have to change the situation. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to discover the one true solution that's going to save and fix the whole situation right this very second. In this moment, you can just be, and that is more than enough. That's what relieving pressure is like to me in an empathy letter. Usually it starts with the phrase, you don't have to, or you don't need to, right? And the fourth part is support. Be the friend that you need. Let yourself know that you've got this, that you will one way or another overcome this, and that you're not alone, that I've got your back. Even though you're talking to yourself, you're just like, I have got you. You're not alone. I've got you. God has you. You have people in your life that love you, and they've got you. This is also a part where, like, if I have advice, if I have steps or affirmations or things that would help me remedy the situation, this is a good opportunity to share them for myself so that I can listen to the recording when these feelings bubble up and act on them. If I have it, you don't need that in order to write the empathy letter. I have a few recordings that don't necessarily have the solution because I just don't know it. And that's fine. You don't have to, again, because you don't have to pressure yourself to find the solution right now. But if you have tools, if you have ideas that could help you the next time those feelings bubble up, write them down in that empathy letter so as to help your future self. You may notice a pattern with acknowledge, validate, relieve pressure, support. These things may sound familiar to you. And the reason why is because I use the same formula, or I have been using the same formula in my podcasts. This is what empathy feels like to me. And I know empathy might feel like different things for different people. But I wanted to take that as an opportunity to show empathy to you when it comes to whatever topic that I'm discussing. I always take a moment. I have the formula outlined and written on my outline or on my script. Just be like, if this is what you're feeling, your feelings are completely valid. Let's take some pressure off of you. I am here to support you and I've got your back. It's important to me that I take that opportunity to show empathy to myself and to you, the listener, if you relate to whatever it is that I'm talking about in that moment. But yeah, I hope that it was helpful for you to hear what the process looks like for me. I hope that it's something that you can apply to your own situation. And I really hope that this has been helpful for you. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make like a little guide. I'm going to make a little guide with this empathy letter formula where you can use that worksheet to write yourself empathy letters whenever you need to, and let that help you. And let that be a part of your healing process. It has done wonders for me. It's there if you need it. If you're cool with just listening and just following along, that's fine. But I'll create a worksheet to help you if you want it. And I will be sure to leave it in the description box below. But I'm going to end the podcast here. Thank you so much for being here, for listening, for being a part of this healing journey of mine. I hope you come back soon. I hope you subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast, and wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Bye.